there. Monkey butt. Are you ready, buddy? Are you ready, you little seal? Huh? Yeah. Woohoo. Rock and roll, right? Sip of the water. Okay, everybody. We're ready to do this. So, it's Wednesday. Quantitative easing is over. The Fed continues to cut rates. They realize that the economy is fucked and they're going to give in to stagflation, basically. So we've got lots and lots of jobs, numbers that are terrible, people being laid off, inflation is up, and we are trying desperately to improve liquidity while during a burgeoning liquidity crisis without any accurate numbers for the economy because the government is in shutdown. So I don't know what happens next. The president of Upper Deck Baseball Cards basically says we are in a giant bubble where 50% of all discretionary income is coming from 10% of the people in the economy. Everyone else can't afford to do anything. He fully expects things like collectibles to collapse very hard, very soon, like they did in the 80s. The Chipotle released numbers showing that middle income and lower people basically have stopped going to Chipotle, that they've lost them as a market because they can't afford it anymore. So there's definitely a reckoning coming, especially with all the layoffs happening at UPS, Target, and Amazon, and Intel, and everywhere else. So we are facing some weird times ahead. So, yeah, I don't really know. I don't know what the outcome is going to be other than probably long-term bad. Over 6% of all subprime auto loans are being repoed. We're at between 9 and 20,000 repos a day for vehicles. Mortgage-backed securities are now finding themselves like teetering at the moment. Yeah, I think it's happening. I think it's finally happening. The market did not the market got their little cut and it was like it dropped a little bit. Crypto dropped quite a bit. I really do wonder what else is coming. Polymarket has the odds of a liquidity crisis happening within the next 8 days if the government remains shut down. And Polymarket also has the odds of government shutdown lasting longer than 45 days in the majority. So basically people are just betting that we're fucked and no one's going to do anything about it. So that's cool. Anyway, Grok says that the Democrats control the majority in both the House and the Senate, and that President Biden is the reason why there's a government shutdown right now. So at least we've got that going for us. And speaking of Grok, Elon released Grokopedia, which is his answer to Wikipedia, which is, peer-reviewed and sourced and everything. And Grokopedia basically says it's Ukraine's fault that Russia invaded, that white South Africans are the victims in South Africa. And other than that, they basically just copy and paste Wikipedia articles straight from Wikipedia, including the page on plagiarism, which is funny. So there's talk about Wikipedia suing the shit out of Elon and basically funding themselves in perpetuity as a result, which would be really funny. Anything to add, little dog? No? Should I hit the button? All right. Series is tied 2-2 to Blue Jays and Dodgers. Nope, not that one. This one. There.
Houston, we have a problem.
Oh, I forgot to include that the Senate voted to repeal, I think, 4 different tariffs, one of them against Brazil, with several Republicans crossing over, including Mitch McConnell, basically being like, fuck this tariff shit, we're out of here. So we got that going for us, at least. It is Congress's duty to levy tariffs and not the president's. It's literally enshrined in Article 1 powers in the Constitution. And the fact that Congress has taken the lead on this and the Senate has passed this will make it harder for the Supreme Court to find justification for allowing Trump to continue his arbitrary tariffs. So, yeah, there we go. Lyco Crypto is first. And, oops, wait, one second. Before I read Lyco Cryptos, I forgot to put this in live chat. And then I put that in multi-stream. And there we go. Okay. As you rise above the fear lines in his brow, you look down, hear the sound of the faces in the crowd. And Lyco Crypto put a YouTube link in there. I don't know what that's all about, but maybe we'll check it out later. And Kelly Reed, second. Cobra Walnut. When a hitter is first base, what is that one coach always shouting in their ear? Basically, first base coach's job is to pat their butt and tell them good job. And then it used to be the first base coach was like mom's purse. You take off your armor and your batting gloves and you hand it to the first base coach and he'd do something with it. But now the bat boy comes out and collects it all, so they don't have to worry about that anymore. Other than that, the first base coach is there to watch the pitcher and tell you when to get back to the base if they're going to do a pickoff maneuver. So they go back, and then you get back. And they also keep their eyes on like where players are shading. So if it looks like they're gonna, rush the bunt or shading over for a double play ball, you kind of give them an update as to what you think they're doing. But for the most part, the first base coach's job is to yell back and to slap you on the butt and tell you good job. That's it. The third base coach's job is much more important. On third base, they're getting messages from the dugout, and then they are giving signs to the hitter if they're supposed to bunt, swing away, hit and run, take a pitch, etc. And so when you see a batter like step out of the box and look down the third baseline, they're looking for signals from the third base coach as to what they're supposed to do in the batter's box. And then the third base coach also will tell runners to stop or hold up or run through and head home because they're watching the play happen while the runner's just sprinting their heads off. And they're more active in this. A lot of first base coaches are just sort of like general bench coaches as well. So they're out there. It might be an outfield coach, helping them, work their routes to a ball, or there might be an infield coach. They have other roles as well. But when the game's happening, slap butts, tell them to get back if there's a pickoff. That's pretty much it. So, yeah. Kelly Reed, happy birthday, HW. Bank of Canada lowers rates to 2.25%. Here comes stagflation. Canada is barely edging by. Recession quarter after quarter. Something's got to give. I'm very curious as to if Carney has spoken with Bank of Canada at all. Because Carney, he's a world-renowned economist. He's run the Bank of Canada. He's run the Bank of England. He knows his shit. He's probably going, I don't know what to do about this right now. But that's too low for interest rates at the moment. Polestar says, yo. And Polestar says, another hype day. I guess there's a few hours left. Yeah, nothing happened. And then Polestar says, go Jays. And Polestar says, Jimmy down 14% on the month. Cool. Yeah. Cool, right? Pull the trigger, Ryan. It's not that hard. And Polestar, what's this shit with FINRA doing banking operations secretly or something? FINRA has offshore accounts that are operating, holdings that are offshore that are not reportable, and they also are using, I think, offshore dark pools to process orders. So basically, FINRA is violating all sorts of laws, but you can't sue FINRA for that because they have immunity. So unless the SEC actually steps in and goes, whoa, what the fuck are you doing? FINRA's not going to change anything. And with this SEC, they're not going to do spit. So looks like we'll have to wait some more time for someone to actually do stuff. Seagill. Cat day, so better give drugs and treats. It is cat day today, but the cat's outside, so he might pop up in the window here and claw at the screen. If he does that, I guess we'll let him in and give him all the drugs he wants. So now if Roaring Kitty could just give us one solitary YOLO and RC GME a message about utilizing some of their cash, Horde would be golden. I honestly don't know if Roaring Kitty's even involved anymore. He may have sold all his shit, put it into Vanguard, been like, I wash my hands of this. we've not seen anything from him since that Time Magazine cover last Christmas or last New Year's, somewhere around there. He unfollowed Ryan Cohen. I don't even know if he's in it anymore. He's given us no sign that he is. My guess is he's pretty fucking pissed that his options run wasn't able to keep going because Ryan burned him twice. And yeah, I don't know. If we see a sign from him, let us know. Let us know. Let us know, Keith. What's going on? Brendan Wells, sup, Houston, BBBY. I guess a couple more settlements in adversary cases. That's all. Nothing else happening in there. And SS Leia 7 is heaven. I don't even know what that means. Polestar, oh, you're 7th maybe? That's why? Okay, yeah. And Polestar says, South Carolina DJE. Yeah, apparently Donald Trump somehow had a stroke mid-Truth Social post today. Kelly Reid, Fiserv stock creators. Fiserv doesn't get enough attention, but they're arguably more important to global payment infrastructure than companies like PayPal. I know nothing about Fiserv. Let's look them up. Fiserv, financial service technology, mobile banking. Let's look at Wikipedia. That'll give us a little synopsis. Headquartered in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the company processes debt and credit card transactions, loyalty programs, loans, electronic bill pay, wires, ACH transfers, check deposits, and ATM transactions on behalf of banking institutions. The company also produces debit and credit cards and point-of-sale terminals. Okay. 85% of the company's revenue were from the U.S. and Canada, 15% of revenues from overseas. It's ranked 208th on Fortune 500, 269th in Global 2000. Fiserv found 84, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's go to today. CEO resigned recently, as he was confirmed the Commissioner of Social Security Administration. Oh, it's Frank Zigno. Oh, that guy's an asshole. So why are they going down? Oh, wow. Okay, total assets is down since 2024. The income's up, though. Operating income's up. Revenue's up. They have 38,000 employees. That's a lot. Interesting. And Polestar, Trump speaking in front of the army, saying he's going to send the army into cities and do whatever he wants. Cool. He also said that he's going to get rid of the electronic catapults on aircraft carriers and go back to antiquated steam catapults. So, there's billions of dollars wasted in taking entire aircraft fleet groups out of action for a while. So, goddamn, that guy's so stupid. He's just so dumb. Hey, did you guys hear the rumors that Baron Trump has himself an older Latin boyfriend? So that, and rumors today also coming out that Kai Trump is in a lesbian relationship with one of her classmates. So the Trump family is, full on Pride Week, I guess, going on here. KYP, hey Houston, hey KYP. Coffee, Donuts, and Homer. I found Houston's birthday. It's in May. That it is. Devron, hey Houston. Do you think turning the printer on is going to break the meme basket and allow it to run? Also, Nebraska versus USC this Saturday. Go Big Red. I think they're going to have to turn the printer on. And with the way things are going, as it prints and it pays us out, the stock will just be worth the same as it is now, like compared to international currencies. That's my fear. It will basically get ourselves some runaway inflation when that happens because we've managed everything so poorly up until now. As long as anyone beats USC, I'm happy. I do have a soft spot for Nebraska fans. So I don't know how long ago this was. When was the last time Nebraska came to Seattle to play University of Washington. It's got to be like 15 years ago, maybe more. But they came. It was beautiful, like September, warm, lovely, and Seattle was covered everywhere with people in Nebraska shirts for the week prior to the game and the week after the game. They were just all over the place. I was working in a bar, and this big family came in. There's like 10 of them, all Nebraska, everything. And they came and sat at this big outside table, and they're like, "Can I get a Coors Light?" I'm like, "Nope, we don't have Coors Light." "Bud Light?" "Nope." Rolling Rock? No. Yinlings? Nope. Natural Ice? No. And I was like, "Look, this isn't a gas station. I'm going to get you some real beer. I'm going to get you the worst beer we have on tap, and it's going to be the best beer you've ever had in your entire life, and I'm going to change forever the course that your life takes." And they're like, "Oh," I'm like, "I'm just going to get you this beer. If you don't like it, don't pay for it." So I bring them all just some shitty Pilsner that we had from a local brewery. And they're like, "Oh my God, I didn't know beer could do that." And so they came in like 5 days in a row. Came in like, "We're going to try another beer." And so, give them all 10 of them. Got them to the point where like drinking IPAs and stuff that they never would have considered in their entire lives. And, then they went back to Nebraska and did their thing. Like 4 years later, I'm in grad school at this point, and they come back, and they like a whole bunch of them came in, and they're like, "Oh, we hope you're working here," and they got me this Nebraska Hawaiian shirt with like cows and shit all over it. It's on their vacation. They're gonna come back, hope this guy is still at this bar, and we're going to give him this present that we brought all the way from Nebraska for him. So I have a soft spot for Huskers right there, and that's entirely it. It's purely just greed and the fact that I got a cool shirt from a bunch of Nebraska fans. So go Nebraska. All right. RV608. It's Turkish, by the way. Oh, hello, Turkish. But it says it's RV6008 now, and that's what I'm going to see. I don't know why it switched back to just putting everyone's like secret names rather than their normal names again. It did this a couple months ago, and we didn't know why it did it, and then went back, and now it's whatever it is. Polestar, thoughts on Elon's own Wikipedia? Oh yeah, it's a turd. Joe Sporto 289, let's go. Ian Williams, why did Meta go down after earnings? I wasn't paying attention to Meta at all. Meta earnings. No, not MTA. That's a completely different organization. Meta reports $15.9 billion one-time tax charge in Q3. Basically, they paid a boatload of taxes. So Meta stock slides after earnings. These two factors are overshadowing a 26% revenue jump. So it had a revenue jump, but paid a whole bunch in taxes. So it earned $105 per share for September and quarter, down 83% from its normal $6 and change per share, $6.72 per share prior to that. So it had to do with the non-cash income tax charge of $15.93 billion. Meta said it was required to implement long-term savings. President Donald Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Without that charge, Meta said its earnings would have been $7.25 per share. So that's why. All right. Life is life. It do what it do. Coffee, Donuts, and Homer. Fiserv has a 0.75% ownership and has $29 billion in debt per Yahoo Finance. Oh. Wormfall. Happy birthday, soon. If markets are this rigged and corporations game their financials to a degree, is the market just a way to hose the average investor? Well, to hose the average retail investor, yes. If you're taking all your money and you're putting it into BlackRock or Vanguard or State Street or whatever, you're probably just going to just get your annuities and keep climbing and get your annuities and keep climbing and get your annuities and keep climbing. But if you're like us and you're trying to pick and choose here and there, yeah, they're going to fuck you over. That's what they do. And we have not become the big winners we want to be yet. It also doesn't help that we have CEOs that keep like thwarting our ability to be big winners. So there's that. You know, I forgot to check to see if there's any super chats. Oh, there's a super chat from Jigashugla. What's the startup scene in Seattle like? I have had friends in lots of startups in the past. I don't know any of them currently in a startup. No, I've got one. Yeah, I've got one friend currently in a startup. She was at Amazon. She was moved up to a big executive position, and she's now, I think she's doing some sort of accounting software startup that she started. It's very small. There's like 4 or 5 employees at this point, so they're really just getting off the ground. But that's it. That's the only person I know doing anything startup related around here. I'm sure there's others, but yeah, startup seems kind of right now. I don't know what's it like elsewhere. What do you got going on elsewhere? I don't know. There's plenty of office space. It's gonna be real cheap if you need office space for a startup. So you got that going for you. I'm not sure how many of the Amazon employees got axed today in the Seattle area. My guess is probably 10 to 15,000. I'm waiting to hear back from some of my Amazon friends if they were caught up in that. One of them is manager class now, so she may have. It's a bummer because she and her husband just bought a house, so I'll find out from them. Yeah, so I don't have too much beyond that, Jiggish. I'll put my ear to the ground and see who else is doing startup stuff right now. Okay, I gotta scroll back up. Gotta scroll far ways. There we go. All right, that's the money printer one. That's the Grokpedia one. That's the Wormfall one. And Wormfall follow-up question: what companies would you never invest in out of principle, if any? AMC ever again? I probably would never invest in DJT. I have no interest in getting rug pulled or whatever is going to happen with that. Probably won't invest in like Home Depot when Lowe's is right there. Who else would I not invest in, Monkey? I wouldn't invest in Walmart. I don't like Walmart. I think they're a fairly evil corporation. I've spoke about this a couple of times on the social media recently, but I fully believe that if you have any employees that work for your company or corporation, and they do not earn a living wage and therefore qualify for things like Section 8 housing, SNAP benefits, etc., that your corporation should be taxed at a 100% rate until there are no more employees earning a poverty wage. That you should not be allowed to send dividends to your employees, pay your executives exorbitant fees, large compensation, sock money away for later until your employees are taken care of. Once your employees are taken care of, then it goes back to a normal corporate tax rate. But if the U.S. government has to subsidize your employee pay with SNAP benefits, Section 8 housing, welfare, other things, then you are not paying enough, and you need to pay more of a fair share. A couple people are like, "Oh, but mom and pops that they need the labor." Well, fuck them too. If you cannot afford to pay your employees a living wage, you should not be in business. Period. I don't care if you're a little candy shop down the street, a mom and pop diner, etc. If your employees don't earn a living wage, fuck you. I don't care what size business you are. I don't care if you're just starting out. I don't care. If you want someone to do work for you, you make sure they can live. And that should be as simple as that. So yeah, Walmart can eat a big fat one as far as I'm concerned. Also, oh man, I mean, it was 20 years ago, but United States of Walmart, I didn't like Walmart before, but United States of Walmart really made me open my eyes like, what a piece of shit company this is. I worked for Walmart as a tech consultant back in 1999. So I'm an 18-year-old little systems administrator, and I moved down to Southern California ahead of 3 months ahead of when I was supposed to start school at San Diego. and I was working for there's a temp agency called Apple One, and they had like a tech consulting arm, and I got a job with them. And I did a couple of tech consulting jobs here and there, and then I got a job for this Walmart they're building in San Clemente, California. And it was this big development, and it was like out in the desert, and like the road ended at the Walmart, and it just was like sagebrush and coyotes and shit. And then there's this Walmart being built, and I think Walmart normally has a team of people. It's like 5 people. There's the retail side, whatever. The team goes around the country setting up new Walmarts, because Walmart was building like something ridiculous, like 250 Walmarts a year at one point, and they're opening a dozen or more a month. So these teams that would go around the country, and the guy who was responsible for the tech side of stuff, setting up the registers, setting up the servers and the internet, security cameras, and all those things, he was sick or what, I don't know. He wasn't there, so they hired Apple One to send me over and to set all this stuff up. And it was a weird experience to begin with, because I am 18. I worked as a grocery bagger. I built some websites for people. I'd done like 2 jobs for Apple One. I'm green. I've not been to college yet and anything. And I all of a sudden I'm responsible for like a team of adults who also come from Apple One, who were getting paid like $7 an hour to be there, and I was getting paid like $125 an hour. Ridiculous. And I have to like read the schematics and tell these people what to do, and they fucking hated it, because I'm telling a 40-year-old man, like, okay, what you need to do is then you take this, go up to this conduit here, run this cable across here, and we're going to plug it into this camera. And he was like, fuck you. Please do what I ask, sir. I don't know how else to explain this to you. Anyway, there's a bunch of other temp workers they're helping set up. And every once in a while, they would like hire someone from the temp group, like, oh, you're a fit. I'm going to put you in the auto parts department or whatever. And the employees, like this new store employees, they would have to, every morning before they started work, they gather in a circle and they do this like chant. And it would remind me of like the chants they do in Indiana Jones, the Temple of Doom, like Kali Mas. These chants were like, Walmart's the best. We owe our lives to Walmart. I love Walmart. You can't ever degrade Walmart. They're our life. And it was like this weird prayer chant thing about how great Walmart was. And they do that before they started their day. They do that, I think, before they ended lunch, and they do it again before they went home. Stand in a circle, chant about how great Walmart is, recite this thing. And like a new employee would come in, and he would be in the circle, and he would see everyone like swearing their firstborn to Walmart and be like, this is fucking weird. And then the lady who was the store manager, I can't remember her name, it's like Susan or something. It's always Susan. She's like, Bill, come in the office, man. I'll talk for a minute. And like Bill would go in the office, and at lunch, he would be the one leading the cheer, like some sort of zombie Stepford wife person. It was so weird. And anyway, myself and the other really jaded temp workers were like, this is fucked up every time they have to do their chants. And then throughout the hallways, I don't know how long Sam Walton had been dead at this point, maybe 7-10 years, whatever. But there were pictures of Sam Walton all over the back hallways, break rooms, employee bathrooms. He was everywhere like fucking Chairman Mao. And he had a photoshopped Walmart hat on and a photoshopped Associate Sam button on his chest. And they revered him like he was, Kim Jong-il or something. This great leader who still in his death leads the chosen ones. I'm not really sure. And after that, like 3 weeks of experience of setting up that Walmart, I was like, no, I'm never going to shop here. We didn't really have them in Seattle at that point. So I'd seen advertisements for Walmart, but they really had not built any near me. And I just don't shop there. It creeps me the fuck out. I will gladly go anywhere else. I will not invest in them. I don't want to buy any products from them. Fuck Walmart as far as I'm concerned. So there you go. And Wormfall Bank Canada lowered their overnight rate 25 points to 2.25%. And housing market is still crazy bubble. We're all screwed. 2008 reset time. I think 2008 reset time is coming big time for Canada, especially. Townhome and condo prices in the Toronto metro area are like in full-on crash mode right now. Even though interest rates according to Bank of Canada, are low. They're not low if you're trying to get mortgages. Just like in the United States, they can cut rates, but the mortgage rate keeps inching up because the liquidity crisis is happening and they don't have the money to give you and they don't want to trust anybody with that money. So, yeah. Danny Moats, hey Houston. Do you believe GME can ever get above $100 without a squeeze? Wouldn't that be just as bad for shorts long term? It would be, but it won't get above $100 unless Ryan Cohen fucking does something. The only way GME gets above $100 without a squeeze being involved, whether it's gamma squeeze, short squeeze, whatever, is if Ryan Cohen drastically increases revenue and expands the company in ways that are unforeseen, or starts to do massive merger acquisition and actually becomes the holding company they were meant to be. So Ryan has to do something first for them to get a share price like that. So it's all on Ryan at this point. And then Polestar says, you think RC will ever let us get that high? Yeah. Okay, CK1BO. MOAS has finally happened and RC wants to be on the show for episode 5000. Is there any reasonable explanation from him that would make you understand after you ask what took so fucking long? The only explanation that makes sense to me is that he's waiting for the market to crash before utilizing the $10 billion he has to acquire something. That's it. That's the only thing. And I get that. I do understand that. But I also understand that while like Berkshire Hathaway has amassed a huge amount of cash, they have like $300 billion in cash sitting there waiting for such an event, they've also made deals in the meantime. So there are still companies going bankrupt where you can pick up their IP, pick up their storefronts, their warehouses, their logistics. You can still jump in there and claim them and build your portfolio that way and streamline them and fix them. So why not do that now? And then you still have tons of cash left over for when the economy finally collapses. You can go pick up deals. You can do both. So why not do both? Why limit yourself to just sitting around twiddling your thumbs, waiting for something to happen when you can be proactive and make things happen? It's that old adage I told you about, my mom and hitchhikers, right? I'm a kid, we're going out camping, we're driving all over the Northwest, we see hitchhikers. And my mom's like, in general, I don't feel comfortable with you picking up hitchhikers. But if you do pick up hitchhikers, always pick up the ones, or only pick up the ones who are walking. Because you walk on the side of the road, sticking your thumb out, hoping for a ride, cool. But at least you got a plan B to get there, which is one foot in front of the other, and I'll get there eventually. It's the ones who are just like sitting there on their ass with their thumb out. My mom's like, don't pick them up. They haven't earned it at this point. Like they have no plan B. They're just expecting someone to drop everything and give them a ride. And they're not the type of people you want in your car. That's my opinion also with a CEO. If the CEO is waiting for something to happen, then they're not being the proactive CEO I want. Fucking do something. Something might happen. Cool. You may get that ride. But until then, you need a plan B. And right now the plan B seems, let's jump onto this collectibles bandwagon that's about to pop real bad because it's in a huge bubble and it made it 30% of our business. And then what? Right? You know what? There's a tweet earlier today I saw from a guy who was bragging about sending off a baseball card or something to PSA to get graded. And there's a flat fee, send it off, it gets graded. But if it's graded and it's determined the value is a lot more than what initially thought, you got to pay extra on top of this. This dude gets they're like, thank you for your payment for this card to get graded. We discovered this card's worth a lot more now that's been graded, so we need another $5,000 from you before we give it back to you. The guy's like, this is such a great email. I now know this card's worth $100,000. I have no problem paying the $5,000. Cool, but what if you're like a little kid who only has $50 to grade a card and can't come up with $5,000 to grade it at that point, right? If I'm going to send a gemstone off to, say, the GIA, Gemological Institute of America, where they will grade and certify a stone as to origin, cut color, clarity, etc. You pay a flat fee. It doesn't matter how good the stone is. The stone could be a piece of shit, an I3 diamond, all sorts of inclusions and cracks and shit in it. But you pay for the type of stone and the size it is, flat fee. That's it. So you could send a 3-carat piece of shit diamond and a 3-carat canary yellow perfect diamond to the GIA, right? And they will do the same tests for each one and grade them accordingly and send you the stones back with the certifications. These card grading companies don't do that. They are pricing out little kids out of the market. A pack of card costs $12. That's insane. I mean, I know I'm old. I'm in my 40s, right? And I know I came from an era where 50 cents a pack was, kind of reasonable. Like, oh, 50 cents, I got 15 cards, maybe I got some of my favorites in there. Cool. Now you're paying $12 a pack. They have all these like limited runs and all sorts of stuff, and there's like 20,000 different cards for each player that happens, and some of them have patches and autographs and holographs, and it bifurcates the market so much that eventually these things become so expensive to produce that all we have are rich people playing, and the average collector doesn't get to participate anymore. So they're getting priced out of it. And so yeah, that CEO of Upper Deck is totally right. This is a bubble. Just like there was a collectible bubble in the 80s. I don't know if you remember, there was a big thing about collectible bicycles, going back and getting classic banana seats from the 60s, or penny farthings, or whatever. And like the prices went crazy, like tens of thousands of dollars for these bikes. Collectors made these little warehouses, museums for them, and then the whole market just disappeared because all of a sudden the rich guys were like, I don't play anymore, and all these people who spent a bunch of money speculating on bicycles were left with nothing. Same thing happened to the card markets in the 90s. I just worry that the proactive stuff Ryan is doing is, jumping on the bandwagon, jumping on the NFT bandwagon, jumping onto the collectibles bandwagon. What's the next bandwagon here? And is it going to be another fucking miss? You need to expand your market into more stable things, into housewares, food, clothing, hardware, like stuff that people need all the time for long periods of time. If you're going to be that type of holding company, expand it, man. You can't just stick your thumb out and sit on the side of the road and hope something happens. You got to be proactive. So be proactive. So that's what I have to say. Juice Mammy sends a green chat. Good God, give Monkey Butt a tree already. That look is killing me. She is burning a hole inside of my head. I was waiting for somebody to yell at me. So, was it time? Yeah, so the big old thinking is that what you want? All right, buddy. There you go. Nom, 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 nom. I was feeling that burn, monkey. The laser eyes. One more. Yeah. Okay. Hazel Allen. It was just released that Trump knew the East Wing of the White House was going to be demolished, and he came out and said it wouldn't be touched. That's because he's a fucking liar. He lies about everything. So, now everybody at the Treasury Department is like inhaled a whole bunch of aerosolized asbestos, and all the construction workers have as well, and that whole area is just tainted with it. We're going to get nice mesothelioma claims and everything else that comes with it. And a giant building that is probably a money laundering operation, because they claim this could be 90,000 square feet, and actual architects say it couldn't be any larger than 40,000 square feet. And the construction cost of 90,000 square feet is over $3,000 a square foot, which is insane, because even the most expensive projects are around $1,000 a square foot. So where's the money going? That's what they want to know. Where's the money going? Mark Lava says first. You were not. Ken Smith. 6th Street and IEP earnings back-to-back November 4th aftermarket and 5th a.m. Noted. ETX Kevin says first, you were not. Basat Man, first in my heart. Scott Paul in third, nope. Teddy Bear, NVIDIA is first $5 trillion company. Happy birthday, Jensen Wade. Teddy, Fed Powell threw serious economic shade to Trump. He won't understand it, though, because it was a riddle wrapped in an economic enigma. But it basically said enigma to Trump's tariffs and pain to come. Yeah. I still, to this day, don't understand why no one will stand up to Trump. I don't understand the appeal. I don't understand it. I don't understand how people look at him and go, "Oh, he's so dreamy. He's amazing. He's so smart." I try to look through that lens. I try to look at him and think, "Oh, he's doing something that's going to help me." He's never done anything that's helped me in my entire life. I don't get it. I don't get why Republicans are so terrified of him. He's not popular. If the election were to be held today, Harris would win by 20 points after what's gone on in the last 8 months, 10 months. And so, like, members of Congress, they can stand up on their own and now say, peel a banana, right? And Trump may try to primary them at this point, but all I have to do is be like, that guy is a Trump guy. People will go, ugh, no, thank you. So we might, with the fact that McConnell and several other prominent Republicans have crossed over to vote removing these tariffs, that may be the first baby step towards being like, you know what, this is over. We're going to release the Epstein files. We're going to do all this stuff. So it might be coming. I don't know. Maybe it's the little chipping away that's going to happen. But I just do not see the appeal. I do not see the appeal at all. What are you doing? What are you doing, man? You're licking your hoo-ha. You can't eat a piece of chicken and go straight to your hoo-ha. That's just uncouth. That's uncouth behavior. Yeah, uncouth. Okay. Kawasaki Roo. Hey, Houston. Who is your graphics intro guy? I really want to get something like this set up for my charity streams. Alexander K. Alexander K, if you're in here, wave. I can bring up his, let's see here. Gotta go to chats. Oh my gosh, I haven't read my chats in a while. Okay, I need to go back and read some of these things. Okay, where is okay? Where can I go to? There we go. Okay. I think that's it. Wait, was that it? Yes. Alexander K. He is ARK rants on what's it called? Copy that on Reddit. So that is his username on Reddit. He's I don't know if he's doing it professionally now, but I think he works for a company that does this stuff and then kind of does it on his own time when he wants to. But Alexander K, if you're in here, Kawasaki Roo wants you. Okay, close that. It reminds me to go into Reddit and actually read some messages people sent me. Bex, go Jays, which are now known as sports ball birds, so the local bars don't get sued advertising watch parties. Really? So if you say like, hey, come to my bar and watch the Jays, you're getting sued for that? Is that what Rogers does to people now? Is that being evil? So they come watch the sports ball birds? That's the weirdest thing. All right. Teddy. Powell can't fight inflation and fight recession, so they say forget inflation. We have to fight the recession, which is really bad. So will tariffs be removed by Supreme Court in December? I think with the Senate taking action against the tariffs, yes. Because they're establishing that they have the Article 1 right to determine tariffs, and that the president does not have this right. I feel like this thing has gotten a little too bright for me. That feels better. Okay. So yeah, I think McConnell's giving the signal to those folks. And Teddy wants some treats for Monkey. Want to finish off this bag, Monkey? There's like just a wee bit in there. Want to finish that off? Yeah, sound good? Sound good? Okay, we got 1, 2, 3 pieces right there. Oh, nom nom. Treats for Monkey. Monkey's been treated. She has been treated. Boom. Right? Good stuff, huh? Life is good. Life is good. And Teddy, favorite vintage PC game? My wife loves Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. I never played Roller Coaster Tycoon. I think... Looking at like which vintage ones I have up here. Which vintage ones I have in here. I like Duke Nukem. I like Redneck Rampage. I like Murder Death Kill. Murder Death Kill, maybe Murder Death Kill and Murder Death Kill 2 are my 2 favorites. MDK. This might be my favorite one from the 90s. And Murder Death Kill 2 is awesome as well. Carmageddon's good. Descent Free Space was also really good. One of the ones I got up here. That's original Far Cry. We got like some of the Star Wars games, like Star Wars Dark Forces. That was a good one. It was like the first Star Wars first-person shooter. What are you? Oh, here's an MDK2. There's Murder Death Kill 2. So we got that one. We got... What are you? That was kind of lame. That was a lame jet game. F-22 Raptor game. That's the second disc of that one. Forget that. I got the first Sexy Time game I ever got. I bought this used. I had no idea what it was going to be about. Phantasmagoria, a puzzle of flesh. Well, that's dusty. Holy smokes. I don't think I have anything to wipe this with. That's really dusty. And it was like, I think there's 4 or 5 discs in here. But I played it, and it was like lots of Sexy Time happening in that game. And apparently it's like all the actors from the Skinamax movies from the 90s did the video game. So that was always fun. What do we got here? What do we got here? Soldier of Fortune. That was an okay first-person shooter. Not that exciting. Nope. That has to do with physics lab crap from college. And that's Far Cry again. I've got, even older on floppy disks. So we got Where in the World's Carmen Sandiego, original Sim City. Yeah. Unreal Tournament, original Unreal, Quake 2. Yeah. I don't know. And then let's see here. Those are all the Halos. What are you? Are you anything? You are. There's a disc in here. No, that's just a poached Grand Theft Auto. I got Orange Box, Halo 1, Halo 2, Half-Lifes, yeah. I don't know. Murder Death Kill, MDK and MDK2. Those are probably my 2 favorite. Leisure Suit Larry is a good one. The guy who did Leisure Suit Larry, he also made a game called Freddy Farkas Frontier Pharmacist, which was a brilliant puzzle game. My friend Jonathan had it. And in 7th grade, we were partners for a science fair project. And so we do, I go over to his house, we do the science fair stuff. Then he and I would sit down at his PC and play Freddy Farkas Frontier Pharmacist, which is a brilliant game. And it's like, it's kind of adult, but you get away with it enough. There's not like Leisure Suit Larry where it's like full on Sexy Time. So so the parents couldn't be like, you can't play that. But there's like a brothel with a madam and stuff in the Wild West. I should find that game again. Even as a kid, I was like, these puzzles, when you figure it out, you're like, how the fuck did I do that? Freddy Farkas Frontier Pharmacist. I would go for a new version of Freddy Farkas Frontier Pharmacist today that has a little better flow and better graphics. I think that'd be pretty fantastic. Don't see you shade him. Miss you. I listen to your show in the morning now. Please play us a few chords on your guitar. I can't. Man, we go do sort of some. And plus it's out of tune. We will. I'm going to see the doctor tomorrow. I'm going to figure out what's up with this guy. I think it's the tendon, personally. It actually, you bend it, and it hurts, and it actually physically won't bend anymore, so I think the tendon's fucked up. I think it's, like, knotted or something. I don't know. We're going to find out. But my if it doesn't figure out, my playing days may change to something else. So, but thank you, Don. We'll get there. Where was I? Did that one. Okay. And Teddy, how do you see Fed's plan playing out long-term stagflation? We hosed. Are they buying more treasuries and selling their bad mortgages now? Says Powell. Quantitative tightening has ended. And normally you'd think that would involve selling off things like their holdings. But they bought all those up and they haven't done anything with them. You don't want to sell that crap in the market if liquidity is what you want everyone to have. So I don't know. I don't know what I don't know if there's a way to win, honestly. I think that's the problem. Is I don't think there is a clear-cut way in which they can actually win in this situation. I think it's lose, no matter what you do. And if we're going to lose, it may have to be one of those things where you make it so blatantly obvious that this is Trump's fault. And that's the only way you can kind of save face when you lose. Because obviously Trump's going to ensure as many people as possible starve during this time with the government shutdown, not allowing the USDA to feed people through the SNAP program. I don't know what the solution is. No, I do know what the solution is. It is getting rid of all the tariffs and all the other crap that's destroying the economy and getting the government back up and running. But I don't know how anyone can make him do that unless he just does it himself at this point. Because the courts aren't going to do it. The Republicans aren't going to do it. We're just kind of stuck. We're like suckerfish on the bottom of the shark, just being taken wherever we're being taken. Eating whatever scraps are thrown to us at this point. So I think stagflation is definitely coming. I think a recession, very deep recession with very poor structures for bailouts happening. They're just going to turn on the printer and go, and without anything meaningful happening. The previous administrations, like even the Bush administration, when they destroyed the economy in 2008, they still took meaningful action to sort of save millions of jobs, try to save the banks, try to do things that were proactive and to help out during the liquidity crisis. Yes, they printed a lot, but they took other action. I don't think there's anyone smart enough in the Trump administration, the Treasury, to take those actions. I don't think there's anyone there who would do what Obama did with saving the American auto industry. I think they would just let it burn. And then there would go 15 million jobs across the United States that are involved in the manufacturing of parts and automobiles themselves. I think we're going to lose entire industries in this country. And we're going to have institutional knowledge just gone forever as a result of it. We have the dumbest people alive in charge right now, and we're going to get the repercussions of that. So, taking a job in Guangdong. Problem is, I don't think I'll be able to get on YouTube to do my shows if I take a job in Guangdong. So that may limit what I do there. Like, what can I do? I would, my social media would be totally limited. I wouldn't be able to be as much of a loudmouth as I am now. So, we'll keep that as backup school, right, monkey? Right, monkey dog? That's right, little turd burglar. Okay. Polestar doesn't stop people from saying Greg is roaring kitty. Ugh. I don't think Greg is AI. I think Greg is a shit poster. I think he's a shit poster invested uh, in GME. People have taken Keith Gill school picture and shown that lengthening the head in Photoshop turns him into Greg. So it might be him. It's clever enough to be him. It seems to have enough discretionary income to like go camping and play golf and travel a whole bunch. So, Kawasaki-Roo. I've given up on GME. I still have whatever shares are in ComputerShare. I don't even know how many. RC has done nothing for us and admitted it. Yeah. Michael Harrow. Isn't the first base coach's job to man the keg and fill your beer? In softball, yes. Kawasaki-Roo bought some Costco gold ounce bars. Market will pull 2007. The shit will come down. Seen this before. Oh, it will. Fred Jones, Houston. So I just got off the phone with RC and he told me to tell you, slow down, big boy. I still have 100 years to go. He also said he is not cool, soy boy. So stop expecting something cool to happen. RC words, not mine, I promise. King Ding Dong. Roaring Kitty is gone when RC fucked him. That's my fear. Is that he's like, you know what? I don't have my faith in this guy anymore. I made my cajillions and deuces. If RC pissed off Roaring Kitty enough that he left, I think an appreciable portion of the investors in this would leave as well. I mean, a lot of us feel really shitty about investing in a company with a MAGA weirdo running it as he is, and then gaslighting us. Like in that interview, he's like, all this divisiveness is really bad. Fuck you, you piece of shit. You're the one who went MAGA, 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 Trump, 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 and went to his rallies, to the fucking Nazi rallies at Madison Square Garden. Like, divisiveness is really bad. Well, we contributed to it. You contributed to it, you asshole. Jesus. Like, be aware of something. You seem to be completely unaware for being what seems like a terminally online CEO. You seem completely unaware of what is going on around you and your contributions to that. So figure it out. Teddy, any conspiracy thoughts for the ballroom for foreign assets installing spyware and recording devices all over under the ballroom with their contractors? Any other real reason? I mean, who really wants a ballroom? I don't want a ballroom. I have no desire for a ballroom. I think the real reason for the ballroom is with the White House the way it is now, it's not conducive to fundraising because you only fit so many people inside the communal space there. So you're limited to how many people can go. With a ballroom that can fit, 1,000 or more, 10,000 people, you can start charging $100,000, $1 million a plate, and these people will show up and just shower you with money. Even though it's technically against the law to be holding the fundraisers at the White House, Trump doesn't give a shit about that stuff. He will break the law all day long because he is the law, right? So I think that's goal number one. Goal number two sounds like they're building some sort of new bunker system under that part of the ballroom, and I think laundering money is a big portion of it. When you talk about Trump basically just stealing from the public, right? And you can point out charging the Secret Service for golf carts and travel and hotel rooms and all these things, and forcing the Secret Service to stay at his own hotels. They're like, but he doesn't take a salary. Yeah, he also asked the DOJ to pay him $230 million for the inconvenience of him committing a bunch of crimes and them prosecuting him. So he's taking his... Oh, he's not going to take his $400,000 salary? Yeah, but you're going to pay him $230 million. So, it's all about what he can get. He will steal the silverware and the fine china out of that place if he can. So, that's what he does. It's the Epstein ballroom, says King Ding Dong. Yep. Kawasaki-Roo, RC is putting everything into trading cards and collectibles, and a crash comes, GME will have to utilize that billion to survive. Yeah. Or the prices have to come down a whole lot on a lot of those collectibles because the demand's going to be gone, right? So it's going to have to make up for it in volume. Julius, Fiserv is going to be the casualty of the new financial system we are about to get shoved into our faces. That's probably another thing to look at, that there'll be some sort of stable dollar coin that they're going to do all the transactions on, and then, you know, regular debit cards won't be a thing anymore. And yeah. Hazel Allen, no one except him wants a ballroom he will name after himself. Don't you know? Yep, Trump said he was going to name after himself. It's going to be the Trump Ballroom. So that's cool. I'd be okay with whoever comes after him to just be like, we're going to erase him from history. We're going to remove his name from everything. Nothing will be called Trump anything anymore. And we're just not going to... He's just gone. Kind of Genghis Khan style. Just powder everything with his name on it. Joe Sport, your pup is looking at you lovingly. Yes, you wanted those treats so bad, didn't you? Oh, you got him, buddy. You got him. Just Memmy, Kevin Malone posted Fiserv insiders dumping stocks since May in your DM. Ooh, I will go look. Everyone's saying, damn it, monkey butt needs treats. We got through that. I'm not your friend. Sears updates. I have no Sears updates. I've not heard anything about Sears recently. I don't know. What do the Sears gurus have to say? Get it got said anything? As I don't think Sears Reloaded has said anything recently about Sears. I know he's very pissed at Ryan Cohen for not doing anything at the moment. And Kawasaki Brew, if you don't really, should be watching Secular Talk, Breaking Points, and Majority Report. I get clips from them here and there. So, yeah. MSQD 6PC. I bet Roaring Kitty's out. That's my fear. Teddy, Amazon data center near me had only 8 jobs for analysts in an entire warehouse in major city. I started my own business and haven't looked back since. Data center jobs have a 30-year tax abatement in scam center. Data centers they're crazy these days. Back when I was doing computer work, I set up a server farm out in Ephrata, Washington for Microsoft. This is probably 2000? No, 2001, because it was after Rivals went under. So it was like spring of 2001 when I was briefly working for Hal Kenyon. We set up this farm. I thought it was the most gargantuan fucking thing I'd ever seen in my life. It was a warehouse full of servers, big cooling systems. Back then they like to set them up near like Grand Coulee Dam because it's really cheap electricity. Hydropower is like the cheapest power you get in the US. And this thing was, in my mind, just huge. It was a warehouse like the size of a football field. And basically what I was doing, very low level crap, like, you know, unboxing servers, racking them, getting the wiring system set up, and then somebody more competent would come along and get them online and do whatever they're supposed to do. But I was just a grunt putting the stuff together because the economy was crashing and they needed whatever I could get at the time. And now they have these warehouse centers. Like one they just opened up in Indiana is 1,200 acres. That's 2 square miles. 2 square miles of servers. You know, the one in Louisiana they're building is 12 square miles. 12 square miles of servers for AI farms, etc. It is mind-boggling how large these things are. You know, 500,000 servers in one building, updating to 1 million in the Indiana one. Just crazy. And there's not cheap energy out there. You're using like coal and crap. That's really expensive. We're doomed, man. We are doomed. And it's not like it's going to be useful information. You know, it's not storing information you and I can look up. It will be processors do a bunch of AI garbage that a human being could do much more efficiently and to give you better results. But no, we're going to spend trillions of dollars on these gigantic buildings, and then China will come out with this deep think or whatever and make it all obsolete instantaneously. And it will crash entire towns' economies, and they'll be left with these huge, giant holes in their, you know, property taxes and whatever else. It's gonna be weird. And MSQD6PC, hi H. Wiki should bring suit for each entry stolen. The thieves are running wild 2025. Why not? I bet they can win. Ryan Head, Fidelity wouldn't let me DRS my GME warrants. Yeah, I don't think they will. I don't think even Computer Share will take them necessarily. Because you can't transfer them from Computer Share to a broker. I know that. And I don't think you can sell them or buy them through there. You can only execute. So I think they're very limited as to which direction they can go. And more people saying I should give Monkey a treat. I think I already gave Monkey a treat at this point in the show, didn't I? Didn't I, Monkey? Oh, you know what? It is time. We gotta hit town here in the next like 30 minutes if you want to get treats from all the businesses. We should probably wrap it up. That's what we're doing here. So any other super chats I'm missing here? We got a couple super chats. Diggo Doink says donate the spam. Oh crap, forgot about the spam thing. So, whoops. Spam money. There's Excel. Okay, we're up. Spam money. That is a $2, $1.99, 1.99 donate. Okay. And then Digga Doink, are you going to tell us your Halloween costume? Well, the Halloween costume's a surprise. On Friday, you will be surprised. And you also be really turned on. Just keep that in mind. So, get ready for it. Halloween's coming on Friday. No show tomorrow again. I'm getting my finger looked up by the doctor tomorrow. But I'll see you Friday. Okay, everybody? All right, Monkey Butt, say anything to say? Anything to say in that little dog brain of yours? You're like, just take me to town. I want treats. Okay, we're going to town. We're going to go get treats from all the shops. And I want you folks to... oh, shit. Well, there's the outro. There we go. Double outro. Outro myself by accident. So that's your goodbye right there. All right. Have yourself a merry little October 29th. Later.